Imagine this. You save up for months, maybe years, to finally buy your dream electric car. Quiet, efficient, eco-friendly. But the first thing you get after parking it in your driveway isn't a compliment. It's a notice from your HOA saying your electric car, is banned. That's exactly what happened to me. And what started as a single letter turned into one of the most bizarre fights over property rights I've ever witnessed. Because this wasn't just about a vehicle, it was about control and how far an HOA will go to enforce it. It was a Tuesday morning. I just returned home after a quick drive to work in my brand new Tesla Model Y. I parked it in my driveway, plugged it into the wall charger I'd installed 2 weeks earlier, and went inside. Everything felt normal until I checked my mailbox that evening. There it was, an official envelope stamped with my HOA's seal. Inside, a notice titled "Prohibited Vehicles on Residential Driveways." I thought it was a joke, but as I kept reading, my stomach dropped. The letter stated that electric vehicles, hybrids, and any vehicles requiring external charging infrastructure are not permitted within the community due to safety and aesthetic concerns. Safety and aesthetics? I just stood there, reading it again and again. My car didn't leak oil, didn't make noise, didn't pollute. And somehow that was a problem? At first I laughed it off. Maybe it was a clerical error. But then came the part that turned my irritation into anger. Failure to remove the prohibited vehicle from the premises within 7 days will result in a $200 daily fine. 7 days, $200 a day, for parking my own car in my own driveway. So, I did what any sane person would do. I called the HOA office. The response I got was unreal. The board president told me they were concerned that my charging station could cause electrical fires and that the look of cords hanging from garages could hurt property values. I asked if they had any evidence of such risks. They didn't, not a single case. I even cited official data from the National Fire Protection Association, showing EVs are statistically less likely to cause fires than gas vehicles. Silence. Then I brought up the aesthetic concern. Was the issue really about looks or control? Because that's what it felt like. I started asking around the neighborhood. That's when I found out I wasn't the only one. 2 other residents had received the same notice for their plug-in hybrids, and one had already caved, trading in their car just to avoid fines. That's when I decided, no, not me. Not this time. That night, I spread out every HOA document I had across my dining table, the bylaws, covenants, community rules, everything. I started highlighting anything related to vehicle restrictions. The only mention was about commercial vehicles, RVs, and boats. Nothing about electric cars. I cross-referenced state law. And guess what? My state had specific protections for homeowners to install EV chargers. The law literally said that HOAs cannot prohibit or unreasonably restrict electric vehicle charging equipment. I contacted a local attorney who specialized in HOA disputes. After reviewing the notice, he chuckled and said, "They're bluffing. They can enforce this, but they'll try if you don't push back." So, we crafted a response, a formal, polite, but firm letter citing state law, federal clean energy guidelines, and my right to property use. I even attached fire safety certifications from my electrician, proving the installation met all code requirements. I sent it off and waited. The next HOA board meeting was intense. Picture a packed room with half the neighborhood watching. The president sat there with a smug grin, tapping her pen as if this was some courtroom drama. When my name was called, I stood up and read from my prepared statement. Calmly, clearly. I laid out the law, the safety data, and the fact that the HOA's notice had no legal standing. I ended with this. If you can fine me for owning an electric vehicle, what's next? Solar panels? Energy-efficient windows? Where does it stop? The room went quiet. Then something unexpected happened. People started clapping. One of my neighbors, who'd been silent through every past dispute, stood up and said, "I was thinking about getting an EV too. I'm glad someone's finally standing up." You could feel the tension shift. The board didn't expect this kind of pushback or public support. After the meeting, I got dozens of messages from residents thanking me. Turns out many had felt bullied by the HOA before, just over different things: mailbox colors, flower types, even Christmas lights. My fight had become their fight. 2 weeks later, I got a new letter. Same HOA seal, but this time the tone was different. The board had reviewed the concerns and decided to suspend enforcement of the electric vehicle restriction pending further clarification of state regulations. In other words, they backed off. The fines were gone. My car stayed right where it was. And soon after, the HOA quietly updated its rules, officially permitting electric vehicles, as long as chargers were installed to code. Was it a total victory? Not entirely. They never apologized. But I'll take the win. Because now, everyone in our neighborhood knows they can own an EV, and no one can threaten them over it again. Here's the thing. HOAs thrive on silence. They count on homeowners not knowing their rights. But when you stand up, when you educate yourself and push back with facts, they lose that power. So, if your HOA ever tries to tell you what kind of car you can drive, remember this story. Because once you start letting them control what's in your driveway, it's only a matter of time before they try to control everything else. I'm not just fighting for my car. I'm fighting for every homeowner who has ever been told, "You can tee," by people who think they own your property. Because here's the truth, they don't.